Well, greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is still doing well, and welcome to tonight's bonus, the final bonus before tonight's Saturday Nightmares live from New York, 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That means 9 p.m. Pacific Time. Before we get into this very terrifying interview, couple links. As many of you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, channel membership, and the merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. Links to Patreon, PayPal, channel membership is in the description below. Merch displayed directly under the video. Also, Dogman Frightening Encounters, Volume 1 through 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeff Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support the channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe. It doesn't cost you a cent. Click that like button, takes half a second. If you don't want to miss out on any of the informative uploads I put out daily, click that bell icon. And folks, please share and leave a comment for this video. Why? Well, because all these things really do help the channel to continue to grow and go. And yes, folks, they definitely do matter. Now, everyone, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's jump in to tonight's final bonus, shall we? All right, everybody. Today, I have a subscriber who you may have seen in the comment section. We've been trying to get together, his busy schedule, my schedule. We finally were able to get connected. Brian, how are you?
How are you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing well. I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to get together with me. You have a couple experiences. I know we just spoke about taking some time on one, so I'm going to turn the floor over to you, and you can share what you're comfortable with sharing today. All right, my friend?
Yes, sir. I'm going to start off with the Bigfoot and how everything shebang began.
All right. Floor is yours.
I was on my way to the Eastern Shore. I was only 16 years old. Just getting out of school for the summer. My next door neighbor had 100 acres on the Eastern Shore, had peach farm and peaches and all the things of that yummy good stuff that the Bigfoot like, and deer by abundance. So I'm on my way to the shore. Starts raining, thunderstorming. Does that for about 2 hours. Then opens up to the most beautiful, bright full moon you would ever see. By this time, I'm there on the shore. Everything's a muddy, sloppy mess. I come out to go over to the house that I was actually going down there to work on. They wanted to build a bed and breakfast. Me, I took carpentry in high school and was going to put my skills to work while I was down there. So I'm on my way. It's like, I want to say probably about 9 o'clock. The ride took like 3.5 hours to get there. Pretty long ride. So I'm out stretching my legs. I come outside to smoke. And I'm walking over to the house. I start hearing this sloppy noise in the mud. And these deer go running by me. And I look over at the lake, in between where the peach trees and all that was, off to the side. Because I came out of the back of the, he had 2 campers on the property. One his mom lived in, and one him and his wife had. So it's a full moon out. Like I said, hearing plopping sound in the mud, the suction from something big about 100 yards from me. I look to my right, and what do I see? A big reddish brown, don't know if it was male or female, Bigfoot. But it also had a deer in his arms with a broken neck, flopping around, and a broken back leg that was just dangling, swinging every which way. Carrying that thing like it was a rag doll. And it gave me the over-the-shoulder look that they do. It's bone-chilling. Scared the hell out of me, being 16 years old. You don't know what to do, what to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
It's freaky. You know, it's a big, powerful creature.
Yeah.
I would say it was probably about 7.5 feet tall. Fucking eyes are just weird. I can't explain their eyes. Because it didn't have no glow to it. Like, it didn't have no glow. It was like they were almost black to me.
Okay.
When it looked back. Because, I mean, it really didn't have no light going into its eyes, you know?
Right.
The moonlight. I guess maybe if I was looking, if it was reversed, and I was where he was, and I looked back, I'd probably seen eye shine.
So
I wish I could have seen the eye shine.
When this thing, how big was the deer that was in?
The deer, I would say the deer was probably about 150-pound doe.
Okay.
I had no buttons on his head, no rack, anything like that, you know. But just carrying it like it was nothing.
Right.
But before I came out the house, I did hear like a scream, but it was an animal scream. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like a wild animal. You know how how they make the deer calls?
Yep.
And all that. I heard like one of those screams in the air, and that just freaked me out a little bit too. You know, being 16 and my first time on the shore.
Yeah, most definitely. Now, when it did this backward look to you, it was walking away, I'm presuming, yeah?
Yes, it was walking away.
Okay.
It just walked off and walked right there because there was a pond right next to it, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it walked in between the trees and the pond where the woods were. It was heading towards the river, though.
Was there any kind of, like, musky or kind of scent
Oh,
in the air?
yes. Oh, yes. That scent stunk. You could smell, like, the deer blood on top of it.
Okay.
The copper smell.
Yep.
I could smell copper, and I could also smell that musky stench that they put off. I don't know if it's a pheromone that they just do it. You know what I mean? You know how like a snapping turtle takes in musk to try to get away?
Yep.
I don't know if that's like a defense mechanism with them, but it's almost like he put me in a trance state there for however long to watch them walk off. I would say probably 3 minutes, you know what I mean? Give or take.
Yeah.
And it was like I was focused on it. Deadlock.
Now, when it finally was out of the area, I'm assuming that you went back in. Did you speak to anybody about what you had just seen?
I went in to go speak to Bob about it, and Bob said, "Oh, that was nothing. You were just seeing stuff." Because he just brushed it off. But there's more to the story.
Okay.
So the next morning, I'm out there. Water dropped a little bit. I get on the tractor. I'll go out there to cut a little bit of grass around the house for him. And I look at his mom. His mom would also live with him. She lived in the other trailer camper thing. There's all these fingerprints all around her window, all on the side of her trailer, and up around where her windows are. And they were up pretty high because these things were on cinder blocks. And like I said, the shore gets wet, everything gets muddy and floods a little bit. So it's up pretty high. Not to where I could get to it. And I'm 6 foot tall. Like I said, that thing had to be 7.5 feet tall.
Right.
And the handprints were up so goddamn high, they were above the damn windows. Like it was peeking in the windows at the mother that night. I don't know if it could have been a juvenile or there more in that area. I do not know. I do remember hearing a series of whoops during my stay that night that I cannot explain. It wasn't no owl at all.
Right.
I can tell you that now. The way they whoop, you can't even compare to an owl at all. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a deeper resonating sound.
It is. It's more from the core.
Yep. Yeah.
Now, hoo-hoo.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I said it was more than like that hoo-hoo that they do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you show your boss or whoever the prints on his mom's trailer there?
Yeah. That. And he tried to brush that off. Oh no, that was mud gotten slung up there. He brushed everything off. Yeah. And I know that he had to have activity down there. Because there's a lot of times when he was next door, because he worked for the steel company in Maryland.
Okay.
Birmingham Steel, or I think it's Birmingham Steel, something like that. It closed down a long time ago. His wife would call him frantic, and I would ask him, Bob, what's going on? What's wrong? And he wouldn't tell me. He wouldn't tell me anything.
Yeah.
He just said something's messing with my wife at the house. Shaking on her trailer. I told him, don't worry, it's just the wind.
But he left.
Come on now.
But he left, even though it was the wind, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, come on now. The wind can't shake a trailer. I'm sorry. I mean, it can, but it wasn't even windy. I live in Maryland myself, so I would have known if it's windy there, it's windy where I'm at.
Right.
There's no breeze. It was a hot day. So I just didn't get it, but I put two and two together and knew that he knew that he had Bigfoot on his property. Also, that trees, the peach trees that I'm telling you about on the property, branches of them would be broken so high they wasn't even funny. That the wind didn't snap them. And these are pretty thick trees. They've been there for, Christ, 20 years. Broken like they were just nothing.
Right.
Huh. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, definitely. That's crazy. The deer, Was the deer alive? Was the deer alive while it was in the Bigfoot?
No, the deer wasn't alive.
It was dead.
It was dead. The neck was sitting there doing the dangly swinging, and the leg was just sitting there, and the broken leg was swinging all over. And he just held it like the deer, the power that they have. And he's holding the motherfucker down at the side. Excuse my language.
Right.
It was crazy. Just like looking at it, like, if he really wanted to take me, he could have took me like I was nothing.
Right.
He could have held me in the arm with the deer and just walked.
That's insane.
I keep thinking back to the story that Victor told, how the Bigfoot carried the pig.
Yeah.
And I believe it. I totally do believe it. They are powerful creatures.
Yeah.
They want something, they will get it.
Well, I just shared a story yesterday where the lady saw, she doesn't know what it was, but it was a large bipedal creature, and it carried a calf out of the barn.
Yes.
Just like it was nothing. And it's pretty insane. Now, you do have another experience, which we're going to wait on because you and I are going to talk about it a little bit, and you want to sit down and figure out the best way of putting it. But you shared with me a story. I don't know if you're willing to talk about that and share that, about your family, your great aunts and uncles, and growing, before you were alive, and you think.
Yep. Before I was brought into this world, my dad was younger, a little boy then. He was telling me about it the other day. because we were sitting down. I followed him and let him listen to the channel, to the story the other day. And I'm cooking dinner, preparing dinner and all that. And we're just standing there, just chit-chatting, you know what I mean? And when he was a kid, they lived on the house on the hill is what they called it, Bumgardner Mountain, so to say.
Right.
My dad had 22 brothers and sisters. Some of them didn't make it, but other part, most of them did.
Okay.
And my family was pretty tight-knit, where the aunts and uncles and all that would come over for Sunday dinner and all that, you know. My pop had a farm, so they took care of the family. That's just how they were brought up in that time. And I had an uncle that was not scared of nothing. He'd shoot you, fight you, stab you, do whatever. He was crazy. Just a crazy old hillbilly. And one night, the whole family's there at the house. They're having dinner. My uncle's outside. And something scares the hell out of him. He comes running in the house. And they don't say what it was. And the dogs are taking a conniption fit.
Okay.
I mean, they had like 20 dogs on this property. You know, and them dogs ran free. They did whatever the hell they wanted. And anytime the dogs were going off, that meant there was somebody out there or something out there.
Right.
Don't quite know what that was. Only thing I could speculate on is my pop said he thinks it might have been my dad said he thinks it might have been a Dogman. And I believe it to be true myself that it was. I think it was passing through. And my uncle caught eyes with it, and so did the dogs. But the dogs alerted first. Because you know how the dogs got that special sense.
Yep.
They sense these things.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think there is a realm of paranormal to this that goes along with them. They got some type of special ability. Bigfoot, Dogman, werewolves. They can put you in a trance, make you see ghosts and all that. They can manipulate you. There's something there. There's something paranormal. I don't quite know what it is or what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you feel that when you saw the Squatch? I mean, did you feel anything kind of like that? Like
I felt like how I told you I was in a trance.
Yeah.
I felt like, how can I put it? I almost felt like I was. I'm trying to find the word to put on it. Like it's not like a manipulation, but not abducted.
Right.
Violated.
Like kind of like an almost you don't see me, I'm looking back at you, giving you this
Yes.
stink eye kind of, and
Yes. That's it's crazy.
right.
It's hard to put into words of how these creatures and what they can do.
Yeah. Now your family's encounter, that's rural Maryland back in the day, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So this
Yep.
is before industrial, anything.
Before all this industrialization went on and all.
Yep.
Because that area there, you had over 150 acres of just nothing but land, you know? Land for miles. It was beautiful. Like they would go down and cut down trees, and I'd have to take a picture of my grandmother and grandfather and send it to you.
Yeah.
And show you it's a clip of their property where they're standing next to an old busted down Plymouth like Bonnie and Clyde. That's
cool.
what they were called back in the day, Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah.
My grandmother was wild. She would shoot you quick too.
Now,
she was a wild one.
Yeah, yeah. The next encounter that you're gonna share on the second part that we do, is that in the same vicinity as the Bigfoot? And
no.
Okay.
No. That is actually here in Maryland.
Okay.
And you remember I told you about the dog. I seen Dogman for a quick split second.
Yep.
When I was in Virginia, taking a pee.
Yep.
At my brother's house. We're not going to get into that one. Or maybe we'll get into that next story. I'll add that in. I just give him a little sneak peek. But there's another creature. I'm not going to say.
Right. Kind of very similar to what Luke had seen.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
It is a monster, a true monster.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, the experience that your family had back in the day, does anybody still talk about that, or was that just like the first time you heard it when you?
That was the first time I heard it.
Okay.
Like literally the first time I heard it.
Huh.
They don't really talk about things.
Right, yeah. A lot of people don't. There's some old Southern people that do on occasion, and then a lot of people just stuff it and don't talk about it out of fear.
Yep. And my dad said something about, I forgot to tell you this too. My dad said something about my grandfather seeing something big in the woods, because he was born in Tennessee, okay? Mm-hmm. And you know what you do in Tennessee. You run moonshine most of the time.
Right.
That's how you made a lot of your money. So he was out in the woods making signs, getting ready to go on a run, and he saw something, and he got the hell out of there. And he left, was gone for like 3-4 hours, came back into the woods. The whole distillery, everything, all tore to hell. All their corn mass that they had and everything, gone everywhere. Like there was like a trail.
Right.
And they don't know, he never knew what it was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think he had a word for it then, you know?
Yeah, that's
Nobody
crazy.
would call it a Sasquatch, Bigfoot then, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah. There wasn't really a name for them back then.
They would just call him a wild man, a wild man, a wild man.
Yeah, wild man. A lot of times people would call them, you'd hear the old timers say painters,
Yes.
So, yeah, definitely crazy. I guess we're going to get together and probably maybe next week about the same time and do your second half. I really appreciate you taking some time out of your day today.
Oh, you're welcome, Jeff. Anytime, brother.
No,
I'm always here.
Yeah. Is there anything that you'd like to say? And do me a favor, when we end the interview, don't hang up, because I'd like to talk to you for a few minutes after. Is there anything you'd like to say to the audience before we end the interview?
Just another little sneak hint at next week. It has to do with some paranormal, too.
Okay. All right. Well, Brian, thank you. And I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of what you've got to share with us, because I haven't heard all of it. So, yeah. Keep me, I want to kind of stay in the dark on one of them. So, but I appreciate you coming on again. And it really does mean a lot that you share your encounters. I'm hoping more people hear them and want to come forth and share their experiences too.
Yes, me too. I wish more people would open up about it. You know what I mean? You ain't got to be so secluded. You're not crazy. You saw what you saw.
Right. Absolutely. All right, brother. Well, don't hang up, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, folks. I hope you all enjoyed this bonus as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you. I Hope to see you all later tonight, 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Pacific would be 9 p.m. For Saturday Nightmares live from New York. Have a really great time sharing experiences, talking movies, music, whatever. We just have a lot of fun. It really has turned into like Saturday with family and friends. So thank you for supporting the channel. Your support is what makes this channel continue to grow and go, and honestly what makes the channel special. Please, everyone, stay safe, happy, healthy, and ever vigilant, keeping an eye on our children, our pets, our family, and friends. These creatures are real, they are out there, and they are dangerous. Share this info with the people you love and care about, and it may just help save their lives someday. Until next time, never stop asking questions, never stop searching for the truth, and God bless.